Psycho, two players that have a ton of experience in Pro League, and even previous to Pro League, it kind of works out well. That's indeed why we have NIP at the top. Our maps, though, Border and Villa have been removed as these two maps were played by these two teams.
Villa's been played quite a bit lately, too, so it's not a surprise. We'll probably see that auto-banned a few times. Bank, though, interesting map as neither of these two teams have played it.
Right. It's odd to say that neither INTZ nor NIP have played Bank so far.
map, I think, for both these teams, too, so this should be a good matchup on that map especially. It's mostly been, it seems like Black Dragons picking Bank a lot. I mean, they've played it twice. It's, you know, it's only been played, I think, 3 times in Latin America so far, so
yeah,
a lot of people favoring NIP. I don't know if I would agree it being that high of a percentage, just because I feel like this has been really showing up, and they could surprise. In Latin America, sometimes is a bit of a roll of the dice occasionally. Like, they have some really wild games.
Yes, to say the least. We'll talk about wild games in our next matchup between FaZe and Immortals, because there's a lot to unpack for that matchup specifically as well.
Yeah.
And Immortals existing the way they are now is just such a shocker, because you can compare it to other tournaments that they play, like BR6. It's literally the only time where, one of the few times that we actually see teams performing so badly consistently in Pro League and in BR6. Usually it's
the opposite, right?
Yeah. Anyways, that aside, I know we're going to ramble a lot today because it is Playday number 7. It's literally the last LATAM Playday we'll have.
Outside of the qualifiers. It sort of count.
Sort of, kind of, not really. A reminder as well, since you just touched on it, Devin. On Friday, we'll have EU major qualifiers broadcasted on here. On Saturday night, we'll have NA, and then on Sunday, we'll have LATAM. Can't wait to work the weekend, by the way. That'll be a lot of fun.
You never get to stop watching Siege.
Yeah, we never get to stop
watching. There's APAC in there as well, too.
Yes, on Tuesday as well. Tuesday. What's Tuesday? Saturday.
Habana.
Great.
Going on Bank. Not a surprise there.
Dokebi ban. That's
definitely a variety choice there.
Well,
that feels more like a target ban.
It's a target ban probably against Muzi and Pino. Their Dokebis are pretty scary.
I mean, that means Jackal will still be available as well, but
and Lion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Good old Lion. He's really not getting played as much, despite how little he's getting banned. He's still getting banned, but I mean, not nearly as much. To counteract how much he's available. So
Mira and Echo continue their continuous ban.
Yeah, unfortunately for Echo, I feel bad for the guy. He got better, and then so they just ban him. That's what happens. Same happened to Capitao. You make them slightly better, so all of a sudden everyone wants to play them, and that's when the bans come out. And now that trickles down to ranked as well. Now
everything trickles down to ranked.
One can hope. Lockers CCTV to start out with. No surprise there. So far, I keep saying that. There's not really a lot of surprises. Thatcher, rather than being banned, is going to get played. The Jackal is also going to get played. And Drunk's sneaking off the Monty, but a Kaed going to come out instead of the Bandit. That's not a real huge change-up, especially when they have the Thatcher in there that they 6-picked over to. Seeing the Bandit, they're like, oh, Bandit's here? Okay, well, we'll make that easy, whether they were planning to do that or not. But now they've got double hard breachers for that as well, of course, because you want Maverick for the hatches. So they are playing the right lineup to be able to play this correctly. Nice thing for them bringing Thatcher, though, is those Maestro Evil Eyes also might be less of a problem. Now, of course, it is hard for Maverick to deal with the Kaed.
Yeah.
So, they're bringing that in to make it a little bit harder, but they didn't see that there was the Thatcher. So they 6-picked over to that thinking, oh, we'll make it harder for them to deal with the batteries, when in fact they actually didn't, because Thatcher's in play. Oh, of course, that's assuming Drunks doesn't somehow die early, in which case then it does become harder.
The thing that Psycho does actually more often than not is that if there's a Maverick in play and he starts opening up the holes, then Psycho will actually fight him on a hatch, and he wins.
There's been a decent amount of that. I mean, Maverick's a great op, but the amount of times he gets shot in the face doing his job is unfortunate for him.
Hey, man. Sometimes you don't get what you want. Pino watching, though, at the beginning here of the round, and he'll fall back. As you saw, there was the call out of Psycho downstairs, just holding on off. A black eye left in the back pocket of Julio, and you can set up extra holes or extra camera later on in the round, depending on where his opponents will be coming from. And right now, just NIP taking their time. They're playing very defensive downstairs.
A little bit slow on the destruction, though. Already almost, 50 seconds into the round here.
Some extra holes that you open up, right?
I hope they don't need those. I mean, I guess they're set up now. I think the deployable shield's always good on the server stairs as well. And then Psycho actually here to help with that. Him actually battering the hatch helps because it does force Maverick to have to do a slow job on the hatch. They can't use thermite for it. Although they have the Thatcher, so that kind of negates that. And I doubt he has a second Electric Claw because I think he used one on the other wall already. So.
That Thatcher is going to be so huge now. Probably everything has just been deleted
because he's not
off of the stairs. Yeah. Good up, right?
Yeah. Well, they're probably going to know pretty soon that he's in play, and that might change up how they play things a little bit. But shotgun on the stairs is really what it's all about at the end of the day. Utility's helpful. It's all about blasting them in the face as soon as they try and come in. It is sometimes good to play that with smoke because you can kind of delay him a little bit longer. But if you lose him and don't have enough utility downstairs, that can still be problematic for you as a team to try and delay for the actual plant. But that being said, 2 minutes in, they've got hatches open, they're clearing out utility, they've got the angle from the Jackal. Things are working out okay here for INTZ.
Kamikaze will pop a smoke canister and take a bit of damage here on the vault. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Second flash, he'll push him away for just a second. Actually gets flashed a second time. And he actually takes a ton of damage from the Zofia that opens up the shield. And that's 2 kills now for INTZ as they eliminate both the Jaeger and the smoke that were playing in blue and in the servers. It's a huge advantage here for INTZ, but there's not a lot of time left. And Julio setting up here for a Nitro Cell, throw it up and will not connect. Actually, just a bit of damage done to VNX as he crosses. Drunks will find Psycho. He just walks into the site itself, smokes to hold him off for just a moment. Be able to drop one. Julio with one from behind. Nitro Cell has already been dispatched, as you saw before. He'll spray through the smoke, but the angles are already being held. It's a lot of work for Julio to do. We'll find a headshot, and Intact is the one ready. I'll drop Julio, and INTZ will secure their very first round. One thing, though, for people that don't know this or haven't seen it before in Pro League, Maverick comes up to a deployable shield, literally one-taps it with his
Not so much the barbed wire as he originally was, which sometimes I got to say I do miss a little bit just because dealing with barbed wire can be such a pain, but it is a good thing that he can't do that so quietly anymore.
It's not year one barbed wire, that's for sure.
No. Barbed wire has definitely gone through a few iterations, as deployable shields are about to. But overall, that was almost a flawless round for INTZ until those 2 kills by Julio at the end. But as I said, those were at the end once the plant was already down too little too late at that point. Another 6 pick over to the Thatcher, and this time 6 picking away from the CAD to the dock. They are going to try CEO rather than go CCTV again.
Attackers need to locate
and that makes sense with the dock then. They're going to also bring the Mozzie this time. Try and stop some of that intel from coming in. It won't really do anything about the Jackal, of course, but the less drones they have in sight, the less they can find the angles. So that will be potentially helpful. Not to mention, of course, they can drone them. The upside, especially, is if you can capture some drones and you have some players on roam, you can help drone for your roamers, provide them some extra coverage, or at least put them on a flank position. So if anyone dies, they can watch them. So stuff like that, pretty handy. Drunk's already losing one of his drones, but none captured just yet, as far as I could tell by Kamikaze.
10 seconds left.
The CEO hold between the Maestro and the dock is always
Yeah, those
great
ACOGs.
sight. Yeah. I wonder if Psycho's bringing in a deployable camera. So that was a question. I mean, we've seen quite a...
I gotta imagine. Wait.
we
almost saw for a second.
We don't have control of the
unfortunately,
spectator, by the way.
He can't hear us as he's in Latin America, and that's a long way to yell.
No. Sometimes when there's a clutch, they can hear us all the way from here.
I'm sure we can hear their casters from here.
Yes, I can hear Meligeni. If he was casting in Brazil and we were in Japan or whatever, we could probably hear him from there.
Probably.
There you go.
Ooh.
Psycho find the first one.
Already getting used out of that Doc ACOG.
No more Thatcher.
That's an important pick early on, because now Boar's going to have a heck of a job trying to open up the walls. So it's definitely going to be on them possibly playing from the window to take out those... I was going to say, wait a minute, there's no batteries. Because the Kaid got 6 pick off and there's no bandit, so there's nothing to stop him. So actually the Thatcher, a little less important.
Redundant.
Still useful for taking out the Evil Eyes, though. I mean, that unless you have a Twitch, there's not a lot of other ways to really deal with those very effectively. So, I mean, I guess there's the Zofia, but then you have to worry about ADSs. Whereas with the Thatcher, you can kind of help clear those out as well. So not a great start for INTZ, but they had such a good round last round. I can't imagine this is going to phase them too much.
I love seeing those Family Matters posters in a bank.
Yeah, one of those kind of ironic scenes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's very non-corporate, very, very woke thing for you to say.
He's like the motivational posters of CEO too.
Give me your money. CEO of Bank.
That's very motivational.
Yes. So more cameras being flicked around here for NIP. Nitrocell has come out, but will damage no one on the attacking side of INTZ. Pino walking in from below, and you hear the thermite charge going off. But Pino, oh no, he runs through the security beepers. This is going to be heard here, and there's nobody clearing him out. Again, there's still the Jackal for roam clear, but it's not really being used. It's intact, however. That'll be put in the kitchen, maybe to find someone there. Psycho will take down Boar, but Duds will find the refrag. Damage has already been done. That's 2 kills for the Doc. It's kind of redundant at this point in time.
That's both the hard breach kind of operators at the moment. I mean, I guess
The wall's open.
an assistant, but yeah, if it's already open, job's done.
Job's done. As a reference.
I was waiting for you to catch that. Thank you.
It's not an obscure one, okay? Kamikaze will find a kill on VNX with a P10 Roni. That's another one as well from Uzi on the Duds, just holding on the hallway. No drones to give any information for Duds as he walks on in. That's a very odd way of doing things. There's a Maestro behind a shield. That's something that you can spot pretty quickly. Nitrocell will come out, but it's Pino to secure the last kill. Intact eliminated in NIP, demolishing their opponent.
What a flip of last round.
Yes, that's like... It literally is the complete opposite of what happened in round 1.
So, nicely done by Nip to bring it back, though. Maybe the first round they were just warming up. Just losing a bit too many gunfights. Also, a bit of a misplay on the server stairs in terms of the flashes. Not even, probably could have even just spammed his shotgun at that point being flashed, but they are going to try CCTV again, so maybe he'll have a little bit better effort this time. Psycho not going to bother 6-picking to the Kaid. Instead, he's just going to be like, hey, you know what I'm going to do. And sneak off of it. That's a sneaky pick, though, the Clash. You still get some use out of the Thatcher, though, against it, in terms of stopping the taser from firing.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Definitely very useful, because when the taser's firing, it makes it very difficult to deal with Clash.
Oh, it's not as
You
bad.
take damage as well, but...
It's definitely not as bad as it was before.
Yeah.
Because now you can just hide behind a wall and then you're back in play. Before, it kind of... The debuff took a while to go away, and it would instantly shock you again.
Yeah.
The fixes and changes that have happened to Clash over the past 6 months have definitely made her
by attackers.
a billion times less annoying.
Yeah, but you bring the Thatcher, and then all of a sudden you can just rush and then melee and get the kill, especially at this high level of play when you know how to get the
yes.
melee and the hip fire, make it work. Plus, they've got the Zofia as well to help with that. So I can imagine Psycho's going to have to play it smart. Make sure he's got the angles in his favor. Again, opening up the angle into the garage from the one wall that's soft that you can either reinforce or open. Julio looked like he's going on the roam again with a black eye in his pocket. Maybe they'll play a little more roam heavy this time. Last time they were a bit more collapsed on site. They do have, of course, the Jackal once again. As INTZ been running the same lineup pretty much every round, even if they were 6-picking to it. Of course, they don't need to 6-pick to the Thatcher anymore. I think it's kind of a given. Going to be bringing it. I'm not sure we're really ever getting to see his Claymore get set up, though. They're either doing well enough to not necessarily need it, although it might have been set up on server stairs last time. The aggressive play here from Muzi as well, hanging out behind the server. Not a surprising play, but an aggressive one nonetheless. You have the Clash down at the bottom of the server stairs, it looked like as well. So they're going to be helping out Kamikaze on server stairs, possibly, to deny them the ability to push in. Even if they flash, they might not be able to do anything to get in there. So I like the idea. There's finally the last camera getting set up here. So to watch the main stairs. Last time, Julio was the one to have to fight the main stairs through that small hole he opened in the lockers.
Boris going to open up the hatch here to come on down, and the Maverick doing from intact as we speak. I assume that Boris still has one thermite charge to use downstairs. They'll have to go through Kamikaze, but it's again, the Thatcher just kind of deletes everything, and it's just so great. And here we go. Nitrocell, though, through the hatch. Intact will be eliminated by Julio. A great start here for NIP. Complete reverse of last time, and it's a huge pick. It's the Maverick.
Yeah, not sure how much of his job was done, but it's definitely not going to get done anymore for the rest of the round. And they're going to have to really pressure these server stairs because they're starting to get a little low on time. Once it gets past the 1-minute mark, if you haven't pushed the server stairs, things start getting pretty desperate on this attack. And you have to start going for even potentially flanks from the garage to make it work at that point.
And you definitely need to be doing that if you can. It's something that'll ease your way down. Now, you can throw whatever explosive you'd like at Clash, but Clash has a massive explosive resistance percentage. So she's completely fine with
Here's that flank.
There you go. That's 2 players coming down. That's a lot of commitment here from INTZ.
They need to make it work. They can't take these server stairs. Psycho's pick of the shield. There
Oh, no! The Maestro's around the angle!
Pino.
Oh, Duds will at least find the kill, but even though the Evil Eye is destroyed, this should be more than enough information for NIP to kind of hold on their own. Drones will be taken away as well.
Yeah, now the Clash can rotate also to help defend now down on the garage side, so you're not getting in.
Exactly.
It's going to be completely denied. I can't see them picking this round up at this point.
Now VNX will try to come in from the main stairs. Didn't quite catch if he had destroyed the Valkyrie camera there, but I do see it right at the edge. Lucy holding down from the servers themselves. No, he misses one target, but Julie's already on the other side. The Zofia will cross through. Is still somehow alive, but not for long. Possibly there's no time left. As 2 kills went down with the Deagle with the help of Mr. Julio, as we saw. But the smoke definitely worked against INTZ, and at that point, the round was already lost.
Yeah, the 6 pick to the Clash made all the difference because they dealt with server stairs so quickly previously, just due to the flashes. I mean, it was still took a little while, but compared to that round, it was pretty quick. Psycho probably going to 6th pick off of it this time, just teasing it for Tellers here. And they can play CCTV at least one more time on their defense here because of the way the rounds fall. They could potentially play it here on round 6 if it comes down to it. So that's where INTZ are going to have to figure out an attack strategy that works for that. Drunk's actually going to sneak onto the Twitch here, potentially deal with some of the utility. I don't think I saw any. Yeah, there is. Okay, good. There's the Maestro to take out those Evil Eyes, something they don't want to have to necessarily use the Zofia for. They don't have the Thatcher this time, though. So they will potentially have to deal with a little bit of extra utility, but it's not a big deal because it's not like there's a situation where any of the walls are batteried or mute jammed.
No.
But it is very helpful for actually even turning off the heartbeat sensor of Pulse, something that people don't think about often enough, but it is a useful strategy sometimes. For example, when you want to push into the server itself and you go for plant, if you can hit a EMP in there, you can disable Pulse temporarily so you can't see when you're actually pushing in. Things like that, where you can strategically use the EMPs to stop his ability to see, or even when you're going to go for a push, you can disable people's holographic sights and things like that. It's not a huge deal, but any advantage you can give yourself is a big one, which is why part of why you get so tilted when those Thatcher bands come out.
Yeah, and these things that you're talking about, Devin, these are kind of side effects of what of your initial strategy.
But when you have extra EMPs as well, I've seen it used.
I completely agree. Why not? Especially specifically for that attack downstairs in servers. Here, though, the big question is, where will Psycho be playing? Usually when you're running the Pulse, you might have the Valkyrie, or in this case the Mozzie as well, to support him downstairs. And you have your players upstairs for the defense. But you can also put the Pulse in Janitor. You can have him in open area as well with support from the Valkyrie.
Some area where he can rotate away quickly.
But the hatch is closed in Janitor.
That's not going to help. So this is going to make the top floor clear a bit easier.
There's nobody there, so
and that's a big time saver for INTZ, because when you actually start to go for the attack, you're going to spend a lot of time attacking downwards, so the extra time that you have will help you actually rotate down for the actual plant, assuming you don't get a ton of picks from the top down initially. And that's where Psycho is going to help resist those top down picks, assuming someone doesn't get a lucky one on him, as if they had an IQ, they'd be able to spot him. But Drunks has already taken a bit of damage, throwing out his last shock drone.
When you look at this defense from NIP, I'm quite intrigued, because the way they have everything set up is, instead of focusing on the top floor and archives, what they do is they spread. So they hold on to open area. The wall between archives and the small desk in open area is soft, and all the reinforcements are not used there. They're used to hold on to open area from Skylight. It's a very interesting way of attacking things. It spreads you very thin, but if you're able to pick off your opponents one by one, this works out fairly well. A lot of damage done to Drunks, as you mentioned before, but Pino's now stuck, so he'll need support from his teammates. He'll be flashed off and then pushed, but staying alive for just a bit more. Even though he's down, Intact will be eliminated. But Drunks will find the zap. It's Duds to get taken away. Boar with a refrag onto Psycho. It's a frag fiesta, a 3v3, but Kamikaze hits the Nitro on Boar, leaving VNX and Drunks, the last two alive, and there's not much left on Drunks, as he was the first to get a lot of damage done to him thanks to Psycho's UMP, as you heard back in the earlier stages of the round. 15 seconds left now on the assault. You need to go, and the diffuser is still on the floor. You hear the FAMAS rattling away, but there's two people to hold on the angle. Muzi will take down one. The second one has not even entered the site. Muzi's fighting here on the outside of the tellers. He'll go in for the peek and find the shot. VNX taken away, and NIP secure their third round up on the board here on Bank. Successful defenses.
Great plays by Muzi. First off, his coverage of the Maestro, a little bit late, but trading that, the Maestro was doomed. There's no way he was getting that out alive unless he pre-fired a little more effectively, but getting flashed first and him turning his face into the corner certainly didn't help with that. I mean, it is unfortunate that Mozzie didn't have any kind of pest set up to stop the drones. There are a few spots they could have potentially tucked the pests like slightly around corners where they wouldn't have been able to get the drones past it, but it obviously didn't happen. But Muzie's coverage of him and then also the two frags after that making a huge difference in that round. I mean, a 3K always makes a huge difference, but it's just setting things off initially, turning the pick on the Maestro into something that didn't really work in their favor. They did at least finish it off with the Twitch drone. That was a nice pick there. And then as only Latin America does, here comes the Finca. CEO was their first successful defense, so they're going to try that again as well. Nothing too crazy here. Psycho's going to be on that dock again. I got to wonder, though, what the Finca's really going to do for them unless they're going to go in pretty fast and heavy. So they've lost at least the Maverick for this, so this is definitely down to try not let Boar die, get the wall down if you can, and then possibly use that Finca to help rush into sight. Try and take it as fast as you can. Also use the Jackal to track down where some of those roamers might be first, if you can. But it's definitely going to help to have the Jackal because of that Mozzie, stopping some of the drones from doing their work. Julio up at 5 kills there. The whole team doing pretty good. The only, I think, donut we have so far is on INTZ's side. They're also doing pretty well, despite the scoreline being definitely in Ninja's Pyjamas' favor.
It's a big question here of how INTZ will set up their attack, because last time, sure, they got the wall open, but the Nitro Cell play from NIP, even though it kind of is hit or miss, when you have two of them here, even if one is hitting, you're doing work. You do away with the Thatcher because you realize you don't have to deal with Bandit or Clyde or Mute or anything like that.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, the Finca is really the big deal. Will it be more of a support operator that sits back, holds rotations from the defenders, and just gives those boosts for her teammates, or will she be more of the front line medic?
And the smart thing about INTZ is they've noticed that NIP aren't playing Legion at all. And that is really, honestly, the big counter. I mean, yes, smoke hurts a bit more when you're adrenaline boosted, but it's really all those goo mines constantly hitting you that slows down whatever you're trying to do by losing that adrenal boost. So definitely a good read in terms of being able to use the Finca, knowing that that's more of an option, just because NIP haven't really changed their lineups too much. At this point in the 4th round, they've pretty much showed all the ops they're playing. Julio looking for that C4 again. Boar's got to be very careful here.
Now, I wonder if there's an Evil Eye set right on the walkway. A strategy that some teams do, and it's pretty hilarious when it does work. And, oh no, will not connect. Now, Boar's Thermite Charge will go off at the half time here in the round.
Good start for INTZ to get that done. I mean, it took a little bit of time, but not too bad to actually have the site open now. Although those ACOGs now going to work against them a little bit in terms of both the Maestro and Psycho on the dock able to peek out that hole they made, so they're going to have to play a little smart around it, and some peek holes coming out from Kamikaze, although that's not the quietest way to open one.
No.
I can imagine it's more of a pre-fire.
I mean, bullet holes are a bit smaller, so I see what he's doing, but got the super shorty, you can go for taps. Bullet holes at this point in the round.
I think it was maybe more of a pre-fire, because that seems like a weird way to open a ball. Ooh, Pest almost getting a shock drone there. Always a fun surprise.
Now we'll walk in, and the shock drone is actually unimpeded. Psycho, though, will find the kill on Drunks in the ADS, saving Muzi. Not the fire, it's intact. Take him away. Pino on the flank every single time. INTZ, they might have adapted with the Thatcher being taken away. However, They did not really scout out for Pino, who really was the big problem for them in the past few rounds. His late round Franks helping so much. And Duds, at 13 seconds left, is still on the rappel outside. The head is spotted. Julia will find a kill. He turns around for the second angle, but there's nobody through there. And VNX is effectively the only player that can do anything, as Duds is still on the roof trying to rotate back on the site. NIP got a free round here.
Yeah. Zophia's not Glaz or Blackbeard, so that was not the play, being outside the whole time. I mean, saving the op is not the strategy on Bank. You have to be careful with that even as Glaz, that you can spend far too long outside and then end up useless to your team at some point. CCTV, here it is, round 6. Like, figured it would be coming in. What will they do? Okay, they'll probably 6-pick to that Capitao to deal with Psycho on the clash, if Psycho sticks to it, which he may not. There's the Capitao and the 6th pick from Psycho to the Capcan. Interesting play. They're bringing the Thatcher, though, so it's certainly not going to help for server stairs, but it might help for some of the rest of the roam clear, potentially do a little bit of damage, soften them up.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
If they're not doing a good enough job droning, that is.
And Capcan's got Nitro Cell as well, so
Yeah, doesn't hurt to have.
it makes sense looking at this from NIP's POV. They're doing this realizing that INTZ are just taking so long to attack because they're messing things up, that by the time they actually have any sort of semblance of an assault on the site, those Capcan traps are going to be so effective. So it makes sense. Of course, it's a very niche pick. That's what it usually is for Capcan, and that's okay.
Realistically, though, in theory, so let's say they open the hatch, the server hatch.
Sure.
And they've got the Zofia and the Capitao, along with the Thatcher doing his work. They can push the server stairs very quickly.
Oh, yes.
Even with the Capcan traps, which aren't going to do a whole lot for you, because they can clear out the deployable shields, they can clear out any of the electronic utility. The barbed wire is not going to make a huge difference. You could hit both firebolts at enough of an angle to push him all the way back down most of the stairs, and hit him with the Zofia stuns. It's a lot of utility to dedicate, but like you said, they're just trying to buy time for themselves on defense. That would be the play from INTZ. It's going to require a lot of dedication, but that also, it leaves an opportunity for Ninjas and Pyjamas to go for a flank in that situation if they're dedicating so many people to pushing that server stairs early. If they don't do a thorough enough job droning, it will hurt them both in that flank and possibly in those Capcan traps. Honestly, though, I still think the Kaed might have been a little bit better choice in terms of forcing the Thatcher to have to use his utility to clear those hatches, and you'd still get that C4, plus a pretty good gun. But that being said, Capcan traps are being cleared. We saw at least 2 get shot there. So unfortunately for poor Psycho, they're not really doing the job he was hoping. There's the 3rd one. And, you know, once you catch the 1st one, you're kind of on a lookout for him at that point. It doesn't seem to be slowing them down too much.
No, right now it's kind of going down smoothly for INTZ. We'll hope that the Maverick does not get shot as he did before.
Yeah. At least the Maestro probably going to be helping cover the garage this time, because they know if they get desperate, they're going to rotate garage. If they're smart, though, they might rotate a bit early on doing that. Drunks, though, already taking half his health and damage, along with Boar. Might have been a Nitro Cell that hit them both.
Not sure, actually, the damage that they're taking. Yeah, it might be that. It might have been actually a Capcan Trap.
It could have been a Capcan Trap as well, actually. That does about half damage, but that would have been the last 2 remaining because they shot 3.
Oh, well,
So.
decent chunk of damage, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Drone going to try and spot this out first, but they have the utility to push him back, and they're not using it right now.
Oh, knowing the
nice.
angle. Psycho trying to go for it, but it'll be taken away by Drunks. Well done, the flashbang into Kamikaze, and the same angle should be held by INTZ. Oh, the headshot for free. Smoke canister as well, played out. There's still 1 gas grenade left, and VNX is on the floor. This might be a perfect time to run him back, but Julio will actually be eliminated here. Not sure what he was trying to... No, okay, he was trying to fall back, just overextending, unfortunately, into the hallway. Kamikaze might be trapped, but he's going to fight for with all he's got. Having Pino in garage, uncontested, is actually a pretty huge deal. Muzi finds it. He takes down VNX. And the Capitao cannot do anything. They end the round here. Finally, a rotation into garage, but this will cut down manpower and utility. Potential push, and they'll fall right into the welcoming hands of Pino and Kamikaze, leaving only 1 alive, and it's easily telegraphed. Drunks taken away, and IP bring it back in round 6. will go their way so far. 5-1 on Bank. I think there's a reason why NIP has not played Bank in the season until today.
I think INTZ might need to play a little bit more. Their server stairs take is just, it's not working at all. The fact Kamikaze was able to get away with what he was, like, he pretty much still stayed end contested. He didn't even have as much utility set up there. They just couldn't do anything against him. It just seemed like, where was the Capital? There's so much he could have been doing to help with that, with the firebolts. That's part of the reason you bring the Capital. But instead, they were trying to fight it with flashbangs again. That's just not the play. And that cost them once more. They even got the nice pick onto the cap can from the angle. They were covering the bottom of the stairs just fine. They didn't lose the Maverick early. I don't know. A lot of misplays on that, unfortunately, costing them the round and putting Ninja's Pyjamas very firmly in the driver's seat and nearly ready to finish this off. They are going to start, of course, CCTV as well. Slightly different lineup, though. They will be bringing the Legion. But Ninjas and Pyjamas bring the Capital right off the bat, along with a sledge for some grenades. So once they flash out any ADSs that can be on the server stairs, hit him with a firebolt and some grenades.
You're good to go.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they need to clear that out. INTZ, though, bringing a mute as well, which is a little bit different. It's still a C4 they have, but instead of the smoke, they can still play it with a shotgun, but now they have a C4 instead of smoke canisters. So.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to run that shotgun on the blue stairs. Just something a lot of teams also do. I mean, it works. It's still the same shotgun. It's fine. However, it does seem like INTZ will be putting more pressure on the top floor. Even though this is basement defense, roam play on the top floor is not a bad idea. And by top floor, of course, I mean the ground floor. Top floor compared to the defensive side, which is the basement. There you go. Open areas, well, they'll put at least one player here. That's Duds, and he has support from Archives. ADSs have even been preset by Drunks in this position, and there are rotation holes everywhere. Even VNX, wow, this is a 3-man hold on the bottom floor here. And if INTZ are able to delay things long enough for NIP, not only will they have wasted a lot of time, but conserve their manpower to drop through the hatches. So now it's double duty for NIP to make sure they secure these relatively easy kills. If they do so, the round is as good as won.
Yeah. A minute so far, though, and nothing really happened in terms of kills just yet, but things starting to get opened up as they need to be. And Intact actually going to rotate up. He's still got 2 jammers in his pocket, though. And odd choices. There's plenty of spots he could be using them to deny drones, at least. Has the one set up here already. This is an interesting choice, but one that ultimately fruitless. But at least he doesn't get killed in the process, as he almost could have gotten picked by Julia or the Kamikaze on the Thermite. Had they been a little more on top of it. I don't think they were expecting anyone to run up and throw a C4, though. So, but again, we've got Psycho on the Capital just far off. They're not really set up to push server stairs just yet. He's got the flashbangs as well to help clear those ADSs for Pino to throw in grenades.
Oh, no.
A wombo combo.
This might have been a huge mistake, just firing through the rotation hole, because now you tell Psycho that there's somebody here. Should have probably already known that, given his droning and his teammates supporting him, but still, it's not something of an extra bonus that you need to be giving him. Kamikaze will step into a goo mine as well as Julio here. This is working out pretty well for INTZ. Again, if they roam correctly, then the least that they will get is a lot of time burned off of NIP, which is already a big win for you.
Well, they've already burned off a lot of time. Still 40 seconds they have yet to take that server hatch. They're trying to push a lot of different ways, and it could be the Thatcher here who sets up for this. I mean, I guess he could put down a Claymore and just try and forget about it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go for that drop. Oh no! When he gets so close, Muzi, a free kill for Intact with the shotgun, and everything's been spotted here by Kamikaze. There's 2 players now set up inside of the gold vault, and this is an easy spot here for INTZ. The drop will happen. The Capital using his bolts. 10 seconds left on the clock. You need to make it happen. Nitro Cell will somehow not connect. And we'll start planting ASAP. Psycho holding off the rotation. And look at that perfect crossbow. Kamikaze should be able to set the diffuser down as Pino will be removed from play. Intact to turn around and drop from the elevators. We'll find one. Julio with a double kill. He's down on the floor with now the 1911 in hand. We'll find one more kill. And the second Julio. The 4K to save the round.
What a clutch just off of frags. That's really not how it should have gone down, because the time burning was exactly as it needed to be. coming out from INTZ. They were doing a good job that round, but just, I guess they were completely unprepared for the frag fest there.
How many times does a gold vault drop actually work?
More often than it should, but less than you'd want.
Good way to say it, which is not a lot, because usually when this strategy is used, you're pretty much out of options.
Yeah. Well, they were pretty much out of options at that point. Again, it
worked.
It's funny that they also could not push server stairs. I mean, it's strange. Psycho gonna bring the blitz.
My, no, please, no, not like this.
They know it's CCTV again, and this is one way to do it, I suppose. Shotgun is still sort of effective against blitz to an extent.
This is NIP with blitz on a basement attack on bank. This is like...
But why did you just not use the Capital?
He's got an LMG. He did.
But not for the server stairs. Like, I know he might have been brought for something else. But you just proved INTZ couldn't push them. Why would you fall into the same trap? I don't know. I mean, if you were just preparing for the vault drop the whole time, but why would Thatcher just peek into server stairs? Hey, are you still there? Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll come back in a second and get shot in the face. Like, I don't know. It was what a mistake. Julio, though, I mean, I wouldn't say he's carrying it, but he's certainly doing some serious work for his team, especially that last round. Psycho going to be the one to have to try and pick it up this round, bringing that blitz. He's going to have to prove it's not useless. Interesting position here for VNX. Trying to spot any drones coming on in before they spot him, potentially. He's also going to be able to jam them, but he's far enough back where they won't see the distortion too soon to know that necessarily that he's there. But he doesn't want to be a huge guessing game for them. He doesn't want them to know exactly where he's positioned at all times. And in doing so, that denies them the ability to rotate freely into the garage without having to continuously drone it.
Yeah, and you really don't want to be wasting time through that again. I like the roam play in the previous round for INTZ. Honestly, like, it was very well executed. It wasted a ton of time. We looked at it, we're like, there's 40 seconds and they still haven't opened a hatch to drop down, right? It was surprising that NIP were even able to make it down.
Yeah. Got desperate, but it happened.
It was they had already lost a player as well. It was a 4v5 on the entrance. And at that point, the mute was rotating all the way around. Here's the flash, and the smoke will do damage to Psycho, but it'll be able to force Intact back for at least just a bit. One more canister left at the halfway mark, close to the halfway mark so far. And as soon as the last canister gets used, oh, it's a great position for a Valkyrie camera, I have to say. And now you push, you flash, you fire, but there's already a kill. That's the way of INTZ. Boar will find him, and there's one behind the server.
Where was the coverage from the hatch? Why didn't they open the hatch first?
I just have no clue. Nitro Cell used, and for no reason at all. I really have to doubt decision-making here. The Pulse will run back, and they'll be spotted and taken away. That's revenge for Julio. Psycho's just now watching outside of the doorway to push on to the A site. Wasting no time here, NIP. The instant they find an opening, they will go for it. Losing the Pulse right now is huge. Psycho will try to dive on in, but he needs some support of his teammates. Go with the quick reload. Just cool down for a bit.
It's good, though. He's just kind of setting things up right here, smoking the doorway as well, so he can watch this hole. It actually puts you in fairly close so they can set up for this plant. This is going to make it very hard for them to deny the plant, but he's got to stay on top of this.
He fires down all the bullets, hitting right around Drunks here. Grenade will be thrown in to help Psycho for just a second, and the Nitro Cell will connect from Drunks as the Blitz turned away for a moment. The Intact is down on the floor. That's one for Kamikaze, another for Pino. Duds will find one, and VNX for the second here, returning back on the Vigil, leaving only Muzi available. He's got an EMP, but he'll be focusing down on the full magazine. He'll find one kill for free on the Vigil, and turn around for the Valkyrie. Drunks eliminated, and Muzi will find it.
What a
NIP,
save.
they absolutely run over INTZ, a 7-1
Yeah.
on Bank.
That was a close round, though. That absolutely could have gone in the favor of INTZ.
It should not, like, the mistakes that NIP were doing.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It was absolutely sloppy. The Blitz, though, was definitely the MVP of that round. I mean, it worked. It absolutely worked to pushing in. Eventually he died, but by the time he died, it didn't matter.